Today we're going to talk about pressure. Is it a real submission? All right, the pressure is on. Today we're talking about pressure and is it a real submission? And I know I'm going to get some pushback from some people, and you might disagree with what I say, but watch the video and really tell me where you disagree with me about pressure. I've been having this conversation at the gym, and people think they disagree with me at first, but in reality, by the time we get done talking about it, we're usually in agreement with my stances on using pressure as a submission and its validity towards your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So let's just talk about pressure real quick here. So from a position of dominance, we're talking about pressure of typically dealing with pressure on the ribs, letting somebody not be able to breathe very well. It can be pressure on the face, that sort of thing, but just smashing somebody. No doubt people will tap to this. No doubt I will tap to this. So will somebody tap to pressure? Yes. Is it a real submission or something that you should be doing? That's what we're talking about today. So let's look into what is happening with pressure. Is pressure discomfort or is it damage? Because in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we are attacking joints like arm locks and putting people in danger of getting injured with joint locks and those sort of submissions. And of course, the neck is a big attack area for Jiu-Jitsu. So we're choking people or strangling people and with the ability to put them to sleep. And in the gym, we had the talk of, well, pressure, if you have pressure on someone's lung, on somebody's rib cage and apply it that way, they can't breathe very well and they tap from not being able to breathe. And they're going to go to sleep from that. And a little bit of research will tell you that that's quite a bit different than being choked. We have all felt a choke, how fast it happens. That's one of the surprising things about Jiu-Jitsu. When you start, like, oh, I can last for a little bit in a choke. No, you can't. It's almost immediate. The blood cut off to your brain will render you unconscious very quickly. And that's something we feel. The inability to take a breath is similar to you holding your breath. How long can you hold your breath? That being said, you only can hold your breath for a little while because you are discomfortable and you kind of panic and you take a breath. So people who are getting smashed and not able to breathe will tap to that, because one of the things that happens when you are short oxygen is that panic sets in. And when you panic, you tap. That's a thing. But as far as I know, nobody has been put to sleep or basically choked, suffocated in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition from pressure. There's been a lot of Jiu-Jitsu matches in this history of the sport. And the fact that nobody has pressured somebody to unconsciousness, that's a relevant fact, because people go to sleep quite often, but it happens. There's hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of instances of somebody letting a choke go too far and being choked unconscious. I've had that happen to me many times myself. Whoops. I have to get woke up. Not something I want to do, but it happens. So I classify pressure as something that is uncomfortable for the other person. If you are intending on putting them to sleep, you need to be using a strangulation or a choke, like a rear naked choke, something like that, to get the job done. To expect them to pass out from not being able to breathe, that's not a real thing. They're always going to give up from the discomfort and the inability to take that breath before they would ever go to sleep. So tapping to discomfort, that's really not what we do in Jiu-Jitsu. We're pretty tough. After a while, we're used to being not comfortable. That's a big part of Jiu-Jitsu. So if you want to be uncomfortable, I'm not going to tap to that. This happens all the time. Let's take it to the next couple levels here. So you can say that most people that tell me that they use pressure to tap somebody don't tap themselves to pressure very often. But that's kind of proving the point that it's not a real good submission, because if somebody can't ignore it, That's just a discomfort thing. So we can just add the word point. So pressure point. Who would tap their pressure point in jiu-jitsu? Probably about nobody. Or you can think of it like this. If somebody, world-class grappler, let's just say Gordon Ryan, has you, provided you're not also a world-class grappler, in mount or back control, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to pressure point this guy for the entire time we're rolling. And he's just grinding. I don't even know where all the pressure points are, but he's just doing pressure point. Are you going to tap to that? You might, but you might not. I probably would say, you know, this sucks. Let's do something else. Let's move on. There's no point to proceeding with this. So that's discomfort. Same thing with the pressure. Let's look at another discomfort. North-south. Let's say you get a grappler who is significantly better than you, and they're able to get top and get north-south on you, and you can't do anything about it. Your escapes are like, they don't even work. You know, this could happen. There's levels to grappling, and some people are just so good at it, they get you in a position, they keep you there all day until they get hungry and want to move on with life. So let's just say somebody gets you in north-south, and they're putting their certain body parts in your face, basically. How long do you stay there for that? Is it hurting? Nah, maybe not. But is it a place you want to be for a long time? No. So at some point in time, now this doesn't happen in jiu-jitsu, thank goodness, that this isn't something that people want to argue as a submission, but similar along lines, people would go ahead and tap or quit because it's uncomfortable, it sucks, what is going on here? Like, let's do something else. And so it's a bit of an extreme example, but you could, in theory, be good enough to tap people from just north-south and making them not happy to be there. And do we want to do that in jiu-jitsu? I don't want to. That's not how I want to get my submissions, by making people quit or say, man, that sucks wrong with you. So people who argue with me say, I get people that tap to pressure all the time. And no doubt if you're going to comment about this, I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing your comments. But those people are the ones who have the most to say about pressure not being a real submission. I'm 175 pounds. Could I tap you with pressure? Let's just change it a little bit. I'm 120 pounds now. That's not my weight, but let's just say if I was. Going into it, would you be confident that you could ignore my pressure that I apply and not tap to what I'm doing? Even if you just lay there. Don't even defend the pressure. I'm doing my best. I have decent pressure. I've been training jiu-jitsu for over 17 years, and I do like top pressure, and I think there's a lot of stuff there. But could you just ignore someone's pressure if they're significantly smaller than you? I don't know. Let's look at a real example here. Could I pressure? Okay, let's just go with Buchecha, the greatest Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner of all times. Could he tap me to pressure? Sure. He could do it 100 times until he gets bored and wants to do something else. That's not even an issue. Now, could I tap him to pressure? We could say maybe, but probably not. I mean, he's going to always escape. Let's just say Buchecha lays down on the mat and doesn't do anything. Would he tap to my pressure? I would think no. I would be shocked if I could get somebody who is way better than me, way tougher than me, and also bigger and stronger and in better shape overall to tap the amount of pressure I'm going to provide. I think he would be able to carry on a normal conversation and be fine with the amount of pressure that I'm going to put on him. Now, just switch this with a submission, like a real submission. So if Buchecha lets me get his back and lets me get a rear naked choke, and does not defend anything, he just sits there like this and lets me do it, could I use the rear naked choke to put him to sleep? Yeah, it's jiu-jitsu. That's a submission because he's going to go to sleep because it's real. Could he just lay there with his arm out, not try to defend it, and me armbar him? These are real submissions with real consequences, regardless of how much better somebody is or how much stronger or better in shape that person is. Those are submissions that have real merit to them. Pressure, I'm confident that pretty much everyone in the heavyweight class would ignore my pressure as far as being thinking, oh, he's going to maybe tap me with this pressure. That's not going to happen. And so if you are saying to yourself, I tap people all the time to pressure, ask yourself, would somebody 100 pounds less, or would I'm assuming that I'm smaller than you, be able to tap you with pressure? Your answer would probably be no. If your answer is no, you're able to ignore what you think is a legitimate submission, which to me makes it not a legitimate submission. Let's talk about pressure as what it should be. It's a tool. Pressure is a great tool for opening somebody up, for controlling somebody, for getting somebody to move in a certain way. Yeah, apply pressure to a person to get them to make a mistake, to expose their neck, get them to turn their back, or do something like that. Pressure is great. If you're setting out with the intention of smashing someone for indefinite amount of time until they tap, I think you're doing yourself a disservice and not learning good submissions. You're utilizing something that is not a great thing. And I have tapped people that were significantly bigger than me in pressure, but you know what? They weren't any good at jiu-jitsu at the time. And once they got the idea of jiu-jitsu and learned how to do some things and frame and escape, my pressure didn't get them to tap anymore, but it still can get them to move in a way or to not move in a way that I want them to. And so pressure is a great thing in jiu-jitsu. It's very important, but don't use it as an actual submission. It's just going to cause problems with your training. So it'll slow your development. You'll be one of the people who are, when we pair up to go train and roll, you're going to be standing there looking like, no one's rolling with me. Everybody paired up but me. What's up with that? Well, people don't mind getting tapped by real submissions, but when you apply pressure and smash somebody until they quit, they usually don't have a good time. So tell me, what do you think? Is pressure a real submission, or is it kind of a thing that makes somebody uncomfortable to where they quit and they tap from that? Where do you disagree with me from? Because I don't want to hear in the comments, I tap people to pressure all the time. It's a real submission. Because I'm not denying that. I tap to pressure. If someone's going to damage my ribs, or it's to the point where it sucks and the escapes I'm trying to do aren't working, I'll tap. That's fine. I'm here to train and get better at jiu-jitsu, not to be smashed for the entire roll. Maybe we're doing different things here, but tell me, where do you disagree? How is jiu-jitsu a real submission? I'd love to see your comments, whether you support me or disagree with me and think I'm an idiot, but comment below, and I want to see where this goes, because we have had a great discussion in the gym about it, and I think I've got people who basically all disagreed with me to all agree with me once they've heard me out. So if you made this far, you've heard my points I have about pressure, and you come roll with me if you want. In Wichita, Kansas, you can pressure me and give me a tap, but it's still not a good submission. Anyways, like the channel, or subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment below, and we'll see where this goes, my friends, and we'll bring up other topics like this in the future. So thank you guys.